The greatest of all time, the best of all time, the GOATs. Normally these phrases pertain to sports. I remember after a football game, we normally play some Kendrick, some Drake, some J. Cole, which is arguably some of the best artists of our time. And we'd argued over who's the best quarterback. Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. We'd argue over who's the best basketball player. We wouldn't really argue because LeBron James is the best basketball player to ever touch the court. And we'd wonder and we'd debate on who is the greatest. But never does it come across in Yu-Gi-Oh! What are the best strategies of all time? Normally people don't sit down and debate. Well, I'm here to bring this topic to you. And just like every other best of all time debate, there's always an opposite side, more opinions. And I welcome them in the comment section. I'm TheCaliEffect. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, then go and destroy that subscribe button. But more importantly, go ahead and hit that notification bell because, well, we're just too strong. Also want to give this time to give a special thanks to every single one of my Patreons. Without you guys, videos like this would not be possible. Also, a mad shout out to my man Keith Nazaro. This is his Patreon request because what are the best 5 decks of all times? And of course, you gotta come with the stats. You gotta come with the facts. You know I got them. So without further ado, I present to you the 5 best strategies of all time in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Number 5 on this list is a bold claim. Actually, I think universally it's in everybody's top 5, no matter where you put it. It is Teleport Darkarm. Actually, let's go a little bit deeper and just say Darkarm variants. What people don't know is that Darkarmed Dragon actually was released before Synchro Monsters were introduced, and there was a variant before it called Return Darkarm, using the powers of cards like Dark Lord Zerato to pitch darks to your graveyard, Dark Creator to special summon monsters to your side of the field, and Different Dimension Fusion to special summon those banished monsters to your side of the field, as well as Darkarmed Dragon to finish off the game. That was extremely powerful. Darkarmed Dragon is one of the few decks that has adapted to a new mechanic. When Synchros came out, Return Darkarm became Teleport Darkarm, using cards like Emergency Teleport, Destiny Hero Malicious, Elemental Hero Stratos to further its strategy and drop a ton of damage. Darkarmed Dragon is the epitome of a tier 0 deck because for almost 2 years straight, it ran the tables and is probably considered one of the most expensive decks of all time. Now that is saucy for number 5. Now we have to skip to almost 7 years later for number 4 on this list. And some people might argue that TheCaliEffect, this might be higher, but I'm talking about Performapal, Performage, also known as Pepe. This is the only deck to have an emergency forbidden list for it and still be extremely successful. You can argue that this is probably the best pendulum deck of all time. No disrespect to Pendulum Magicians because we had a forbidden list to completely destroy that deck before it ever was good. Would be pretty interesting to see those two decks go at it, possibly a battle of the gods looming. But back to Performapal, Performage, this deck was awesome. The first deck to actually make unbreakable boards with Cyber Dragon Infinity, Trap Tricks Reflatia, Solemn Strikes. If you played that route, this deck did abuse the pendulum mechanic to a T. Number 3 on this list is Two Stroke, man. And I know you guys are gonna post down in the comment section that I got this all wrong. But number 3 is Dragon Ruler. OG Dragon Ruler. Hey, this deck is Two Stroke, like I said before, one of the very first and probably the only viable rank 7 deck. This deck is so powerful that I still don't think it could come off the forbidden list, unlike the previous 2 decks, and not be tier 1. The ability to make cards like completely skyrocket was this deck's forte. Super Rejuvenation and Vanity's Emptiness are pretty old cards, and nobody played them until Dragon Rulers came out. Dragon Rulers also also abused what it had with such a limited card pool, only having access to some of the worst rank 7s and the worst synchros in the game. I think if Dragon Rulers were to come off this list, they'd still be really dominant, and I'm excited. Actually, I love the Battle of the Gods series with every Dragon Ruler deck in it. Plus, you have so many variants of that deck. Like right now, if everything was off the list, you'd have like Grass's Greener Dragon Rulers, you'd have Lightsworn Dragon Rulers, you have Sky Striker Dragon Rulers, you have Extra Link Dragon Rulers. That deck is just like, man, it's a reason why none of the cards could stay at 1. That deck's really powerful. Number 2 on this list, I shouldn't have to explain too much into it. I just got a couple of things to say. Genlock, built-in Trishula, and the very first deck to make Ritual Monsters competitive, Necross, is that deck because nobody don't want to put their neck out there to get crossed out. This was the very first competitive Ritual deck, and I'm looking at you, Demise OTK, because you weren't really a Ritual deck. This deck allowed you to summon so many monsters to your side of the field that prohibited the opponent from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Every single one of these Necross cards basically debilitated your opponent from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because every deck back then needed the extra deck, and if they didn't need the extra deck, well, they probably had cards in the graveyard, hand, and field, so that built-in Necross and Trishula, too strong, man. Being able to rip cards out of your opponent's hand, field, and graveyard every single turn is, man, that's just busted. And the deck did it so easily. Now, before we get to number 1, there are so many decks that I know you guys think I missed out. Blackwing, Burning Abyss, Mermel. There's just too many to name. Synchro Cat. Post down below in the comment section what you guys think the top 5 should have been, or what do you think the number 1 deck of all time should be? Number 1 on this list is the best deck of all times. It is the LeBron James, it is the Tom Brady, the whatever you want. It is that deck, the Kung Fu Kitty. It is Zodiac, and anytime you have a 1 card Exceed, then that's just pretty busted. Zodiac is so powerful because of the ability to basically break an entire mechanic. Like, normally Exceed cards require 2 cards. This deck, nah. We're gonna make every single monster in your deck accessible to your extra deck, and then on top of that, we're gonna make those extra deck monsters have interaction with your opponent, and also allow you to spam out monsters to your side of the field. Oh, and if we were, let's make the one that searches Beast Warriors from Gyan, let's make that generic. Zodiac is probably one of the most splashable engine / archetypes of all time, and here's probably something that you guys would never even thought of and why I consider it the best. You can splash Zodiac in every single one of these decks that I mentioned before and still be successful. Like, I mean, how can you not say that's the best of all time, in my opinion? Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a like, and if you didn't, let us know down below in the comment section what we could do to be better. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day, like I am. Stay saucy, fellas.